audience about that whole unplayable. Like, a ball doesn't have to be unplayable. Like, it's for the player's own decision as to what's unplayable. So, you know, your ball could be in the middle of the fairway and you could deem it unplayable. It's unplayable is not like the majority would see it. It's just how you think an unplayable is. So you can see your ball, you can find your ball, you can easily hit a 3-wood. You could still deem it unplayable. You could deem your ball unplayable 6 inches from the hole.
On the putting green.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Anywhere you want it. If you make that decision yourself, that's your call. And it's normally a 1-stroke penalty to take it either back on the line or within 2 club lengths of where the ball is lying, no closer to the hole, or stroke a distance the shot they got you there.
That's right.
And all those work in a bunker as well, except now there's one more, which is back on the line outside the bunker, and that costs 2, right?
Yes, that's right. That option 19.3, I think it is.
And Keith is asking, can you deem it unplayable on the tee box?
Yeah, you can if you want. I don't know why, but yes.
Yes.
So when just what you said before, tee box and teeing area, a lot of people get confused. So teeing area is a specific area, width defined by the markers and depth defined by 2 club lengths. That's teeing area. Tee box could be whatever anyone wants it to be. I mean, it could be the blues, the whites, and the reds. That doesn't count as all the teeing area. It's just from your markers, 2 club lengths and depth. So you could deem it unplayable if you really wanted to.
And it's no longer called teeing ground.
That's right. It's now teeing area.
Yes, and it's not a big deal what you call it, except that if you are going to ask a rules question of a rules official, they're going to want to use the right terms, because in some situations the terms are going to get you into trouble. In this one, maybe not so much, but Jerry, our buddy, says, I found players don't know they have the club length they don't have the club length for relief area when taking back on the line.
Yeah, definitely. Jerry's spot on with that one. It's just something that is quite new. Everyone just thought that you have to drop it on the line. Well, sorry, 2 years ago you had to drop it on the line or as near as possible. Now they've given you that extra club length and people are just getting used to that. And, you know, you could play 15 rounds of golf and never use that unplayable ball option. So how are you supposed to, A, know about it, and B, get used to using it? A lot of people use the lateral relief option, the 2 club lengths for the penalty, and they'd know that one pretty well. They know the stroke and distance, but the back on the line, that doesn't get used that often. So people aren't really going to be that well rounded with it.
Yeah, so on the back of the line, what he's referring to is if you're going back on the line, before you take your drop, you have a club length. Once you determine your reference point, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And it's no near the hole, so it's basically a half circle.
Half?
Yeah. A half. It's a half circle. I'm going to start. Do you want me to start talking like this? If I was in Texas next week, I'd be talking like this.
I bet you would. And I think people would believe you to be an authentic Texan.
You know, the worst thing about that is is the South by Southwest still going ahead?
No.
Oh, that was that's like one of the best festivals going around, and I can't believe it. Everything's getting shut down.
I've always wanted to go. Thank God I didn't plan on going this year, but I've always wanted to go. But no, that's canceled. There's nothing. Nothing's happening. Absolutely zero. And we're up till, I think, early or end of May as far as golf goes in the U.S. or no tournament. So we don't know yet about the U.S. Open. But since it is in Westchester County, which is where New Rochelle is, which is one of the big hot spots here, I really doubt that it's going to happen, which is
unbelievable.
Sad, yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just very surreal right now. Keith wants to know, do you feel like specific rules or confusion, he means, over the rules deter people from playing? Yeah, I think they deter people from wanting to follow any rules because some of them are so confusing. So they just go, oh, we'll just go out and have fun. It's fun. Let's have fun. And that's okay until you enter a tournament. And that could be the member tournament or any kind of a tournament where there's something on the line. Well, now you need a handicap, and now you can't play like that throughout the year. You need to play by the rules, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Playing in a tournament or putting in a card for handicapping, if you want a golf handicap, you got to play golf, and to play golf, you got to play by the rules of golf. I don't think, and I guess I'm biased, but I don't think the rules put people off from playing the game. I think they put them off as then they can get a little bit, and this is just a general human sense of they can be a bit confused, and when people are confused, they sort of get defensive. But I don't actually think that someone goes, oh, I don't like those rules. Until they're changing them, I'm not going to go back and play that sport. Now, that could be naive by me. I'm happy to be told otherwise. They went about going through some changes, and the same 20% of people still wanted to complain. So you're always going to get those people that complain, and you can't always satisfy everyone. So you just got to do the best that you can, and hopefully make the majority, enjoy the game. But as you said, you can go out, like you could go out there, well, not right now because it's dark, but you could go out there and just have a few holes, and you don't even have to count score, and you're just enjoying the feeling of swinging and hitting the ball over the water. Like, how excited do you get when you play your little par 3 over water and get on the green like that? Is anyone going to take that feeling away by saying, oh, you teed off in front of the teeing area?
Yeah.
Like, you still got that feeling. Yeah, and you can't hand your card in, or you can't win a tournament, whatever. But, that feeling of getting that ball over there,
So I agree, but because those feelings in golf are great, and that's what get you to come back is that feeling of hitting a perfect shot where you really compress the ball and it goes up and lands softly on the green, or you hit it really straight and long. So I get that. But as someone who teaches the rules to beginners, and to a lot of them are women, not all, but to newer players, I know that they get excited about the game, and they get excited about, oh, everyone's like, I got to get my handicap. I got to turn my scores. And I think women or newer players rush too soon to get a handicap, and I think they should wait. Because the longer they wait, yes, you can't play in a real tournament, but you don't really want to if it means you're not going to enjoy yourself, for months or a year up until that, because you're going to be stressed about the rules, or you're going to be stressed about counting all your strokes and making sure you're submitting a correct scorecard. And so I think you should be kind of oblivious, like, well, I don't have a handicap, so I don't have to follow the rules. I think that's great, because that means you're going to play at a better pace of play. You're going to be faster. You're going to take another second to repair your pitch marks and put the grass back and your divots out in the fairway, because you're not going to be so concerned about posting a score. So you're going to care for the course. You're going to be, quicker, which is what we all want, so we can all agree and enjoy our round out there. So I really feel like we should hold off. And I know in other countries, Sweden, for example, you're not allowed to go out and get a handicap. You can't just go play golf. Learn the rules. You need to learn golf before they'll let you play. I think that's good.
Yeah, I was actually just talking about that with another friend of mine on their podcast how in some of those European countries they have a golf license. But I really like what you're saying. I actually went out with 3 beginner ladies or women the other day. And, one was going to have 200 off the stick for 9 holes. But, we just, a good way to sort of play is I hit the tee shot and everyone just hits a tee shot, and then, you just play an Ambrose with beginners. That's a really good one because then they're not always in the rough. They're able to get over the water because you give them a hand, and it really helps them just to learn the game.
It's more fun.
It's more fun. Like one of the things that you find with someone who's just beginning the game, they're so narrow vision on what's happening with their own game. They're not actually aware of what's going on around them. And golf is part of it, is being aware about other people's play. A, so you don't hurt yourself, and B, so that you can mark their scorecard if they're handing in a card or playing in a competition. And find
their ball
helping them find their balls and raking a bunker.
And like with you, since I played with you a lot, sometimes it's hard to find because you can really spray it.
Sometimes it can be hard to find my balls, but I get help with that. So
from your girlfriend.
That's
okay.
Right.
Yeah. So question here, he was going back on the line. He said, when you say the line, that's to the point, that's to the pin and not the point of entry, correct? And yes, that's to the flag.
So the midpoint is the ball, one end is the flag, and the other end is wherever you drop the ball, basically, or the reference spot on that line. Does that make sense? So it goes through the flag, through the ball. That's for an unplayable. Now, I was going to pick us up on the one before. You can deem your ball unplayable anywhere on the course except
in a penalty area / old water hazard.
And so this goes to his question. For a penalty area, you don't use the ball as the reference point. You use the last point of entry.
Right, where it last crossed the edge of the penalty area. Yes. So, I mean, it feels like you're doing the same procedure as calling it unplayable because you have some similar options, but you're to your point, it's about what's that reference point. Carol just had something to say, and that's really sweet. She said, I want to say thank you for all the information you share always. I'm the person in charge of Pink Birdies Costa Rica, and every week share one of your posts.
Yes.
How sweet is that? That's awesome.
I do see Pink Birdies share some of my Golf Rules question posts a lot. So thank you, Carol.
That's awesome. Is there a question here? If there's a hairy tee box, I don't know what that is, are you allowed to pluck some grass that's behind the ball? I know you can step on the ground, but if the grass is really long, can you pluck it?
Sometimes I have a hairy tee box and I just go to the barber. Is that okay?
The answer is a little bit complicated because you can tee, as it relates to the teeing area, you could tee your ball up on the tee, or you could leave your ball on the ground, but you could also switch the ground a little bit and make an indentation to create a tee effect from the ground. But can you pluck grass off of the ground in the teeing area?
Yeah, so actions that are allowed in the teeing area: place a tee in or on the ground, move, bend, or break any growing or attached natural object. So grass growing is a natural object. You can snap it off if you wish.
Nice.
Only in the teeing area.
In the teeing area. How about in front of the teeing area?
No.
No.
I mean, you could if you weren't going to improve your conditions affecting the stroke. So if you were just grabbing some grass in front of the teeing area to throw it up and see the wind, then that would be okay. But if you were doing it just in front of the teeing area because you felt like your the ball, the line of play for the ball was going to get affected by it, then you would not.
Yeah, Phil Mickelson did that once in a tournament.
Yes, he did.
I remember that. And there's a woman who was trying to be cool and see these players, friends of mine who are newer to golf. She sees people pick up the grass and toss it up and see which way the wind's blowing. So she goes up and she picks up the grass and she tosses it up and it's just blowing in her face. Something that I would do, but that one I didn't do.
I did that on Sunday to my opponent in match play. I sort of threw the grass over there and he just happened to walk past this time and the grass just went back. I was like, oh, sorry.
Good strategy, especially if he has allergies. Relief from abnormal course conditions in a bunker confuses people regarding unplayable in a bunker +1 versus +2 outside. So he's talking about abnormal course conditions in the bunker. So what would those be?
This is a very good point that he makes. It is confusing because if your ball is sitting in the middle of the sand, in the middle of the bunker, and you don't want to play it like that, you have to deem it unplayable. You drop it for 1 penalty in the bunker, or you could, and as we talked about before, you could go back on a line and drop it for 2. Now, if your ball is sitting in water that's not supposed to be there in the bunker, you can take free relief, so no penalty and drop in the bunker, or you can go back on a line outside for only 1 penalty stroke. So that can be confusing. If your ball is in abnormal course conditions, so it's not supposed to be there, it's in the bunker, you do have this option of 1 less penalty stroke than the unplayable.
And is that if there isn't a spot inside the bunker, or if you just choose that?
You can choose that. So the bunker might be 99% flooded and you still want to take free relief. You can drop it at the least or the maximum available relief. So your ball's in 4 inches of water, you can move it over and drop it where it's in 1/2 inch of water. And that's taking maximum full available relief for no penalty. Or you can go back on a line outside for a penalty of 1. So you've still got both those options. It's not you only get that second option if the bunker's completely a swimming pool.
Okay, and this is very distinct unplayable where you deem it unplayable. This is the abnormal course condition inside the bunker. So cool. Now we're getting a question from Horatio about what happens if my ball is dropped by a bird closer to the tee. Now he has a follow-up question for it which tells you where it is. But if you just got that question and you didn't know what he was talking about, it could be that the bird takes it when the ball's already on the green.
Yeah, I mean, if the ball's at rest and an outside influence like a bird takes your ball, you must replace the ball to that spot or another ball to that spot if you can't locate your ball quick enough.
And so if he moved it closer to the tee, he said closer to the tee. He didn't say closer to the wall. He said if the bird moved it closer to the tee, can I tee it up again?
No. Anytime it's being moved by an outside influence, you'd have to put it back at rest.
Okay. 90% of the scumbags in tournaments don't care about rules. Nothing like losing to a 13 under par. That's so funny.
They care about rules. They just care about their rules. They don't care about
the ones they like and the ones that are convenient.
Absolutely. The ones that are convenient. Like the nicest point of relief.
Yes. Both of you, it says, meaning you and me, eliminate one rule of your choice.
I've said this one before. Rule 10.2. 10.2a advice and other help. I just don't see if I say to you, Marcelo, I had a 7-iron there, what help is that going to do to you? The fact
I'm that good that it would be a huge help.
Yeah, well, even if you were, could you tell that I hit it at 100% or 90% or 75%? Did I hit it on the toe, hit it on the heel, hit it a little bit high, hit it a little bit low? To me, it's just not that helpful. and it's an unnecessary penalty. But it's the rule. I don't mind.
So
just don't say anything.
Eliminate that one. I would eliminate, and I think this is the right. Isn't it 10.2 before lining up behind a player? And the reason that I say that, I know that when they made that change last January, and it really affected the LPGA more than anybody else, because a lot of those caddies are used to lining up their players on the tee box, in the fairway, on the green, whatever, before they make their shot. They're like, okay, a little more this way, a little more that way, and that was time consuming. And so I understand the reason that they did that. However, as just an amateur player, since I know the rule in my head really well, it bothers me if someone gets near doing that on the green, and I have to stop, back away from my lineup of my shot, and get back into position. And to me, it's just irritating that I have to do that. It's similar to what you're saying. For me, it's not helping me that much. I still have to execute a perfect freaking stroke on the green. So to me, I think that one bothers me every time I go to play, because I know they're there. Now I have to back up and line up. To me, it takes more time to back up and line up. And people are going, "Why are you backing up again?" And I go, "Well, it's a rule violation if I stay here." So
I can understand that.
Yeah, last week at Sawgrass 17, the bunker in the path of the swing. Did you see that? He said.
No. What happened?
I don't know. He didn't say. Maybe he'll answer that. This guy says, I'm a club caddy in the New York City area. If either you played with a caddy lately, what's different to the outbreak? So up in Tahoe, where I play in the summer, we have a lot of caddies, and we use caddies for tournaments quite a bit. Some of them are great, wonderful, and others you just aren't clean in general. And I'm a germ phobe, so sometimes they're spitting on their towel and everything, and you go play Cyprus or any other place where you kind of need a caddy. And I think about that. This is for years. I'm like, I don't want to touch my ball. He's spit on it, essentially. And so now I would imagine that the clubs are still open. My advice would be eliminate your caddies right now.
Yeah, just take them out. Take them down, some of those gun states and go.
No!
Because if someone spat on my balls, I'd be a bit pissed off.
Yeah, well, it happens. But I think some caddies are amazing. Sorry.
Was that you for the first time?
What's that?
Don't worry.
So, unfortunately, God, that's another segment that I hadn't thought of. A segment
Coronavirus.
Of our business population that is going to suffer right now, because I think, we don't, not right now, the guidelines are leave the flag stick in, remove all the bunkers, the rakes from all your bunkers, try to just fix the sand up with your foot after you hit, which isn't going to be perfect. Don't touch other people's ball, don't hand other people your clubs, wipe down the whole cart. So I can't imagine that caddies are a good idea right now, but how unfortunate, because that's just another segment that isn't going to be able to get work right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, they could wear a hazmat suit and put some gloves on, and we're encouraging people to get out and play golf. Where else is it better to get outside and away from people than on the golf course?
Right.
I don't hit my ball anywhere near anyone else, so I'll be fine.
I hope we continue and have them open, but my heart goes out to you. That's a tough situation. And then I want to ask you in a minute, after we answer these questions, before we end, I just want to ask you about handicaps and the fact that we're playing under not so much real rules right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you about that in a second. But question from Colin: yellow penalty area and red penalty area differences and options. Just the main ones are really that you get an extra option for your red penalty area, and that's lateral. And would you say, David, that most places have made their penalty areas red now?
Yeah, most. I would say most, and some have added some forest, tall grass as a penalty area now as well. But if, we're not going to see Augusta this year probably, but a lot of their penalty areas are still yellow. The challenge being that you have to hit over it. You can't continue play of the hole until you actually get over it. But it's a lot easier for the club golfer, the red penalty area. So that's why a lot of the clubs have gone to the red. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's stroke and distance back on the line, and then you can do lateral if it's red.
Yeah, and we used to have the equidistant, which was meant you hit your ball into a penalty area, and this is the last point of entry, but you could go to the other side. That's gone now, but you can bring that back as a local rule. I wouldn't have thought too many have actually brought that back, but there'd be sort of up to 5%.
Yeah, most people didn't even know it existed, so bringing it back, be like, what? Bringing what back? Interference with camera and referee asked right questions. Player said, he's just explaining what happened
So
to the other guy.
The question above was about timing, and when do we start timing? I start timing when it's the player's turn to play. They might, work out their yardage. You sort of give them about 5-6 seconds for that, and then it's their turn to play. So you start timing from then, and then they put their glove on, and then they grab their club, and then they have a practice swing, and then they change clubs and have another club. Well, if that's taken more than 40 or 50 seconds that they're allocated, then they're going to get a bad time. It's pretty simple, and if you ever have rules officials or referees timing you, you should, when you're playing by yourself, just get someone to time you and work out how long you actually take, and just film yourself and see where you waste so much time. It's so easy to keep up, and so many players just don't, because then, going back to a principle before, they're just not aware. They're just not aware of where they're, what they're doing on the golf course. They're so self-absorbed, as most golfers are.
They're wasting time chit-chatting. It's not really, in my experience, it's not really so much on that pre-shot routine and that, couple practice swings or taking their measurement. It's not really that. It's just get your butt up out of the cart, walk over and get ready. And they're not ready to be ready. That, in my opinion, people that I play with, is what takes so long. They're still finishing their story in the cart. Don't finish your story. Get up.
You have a lot of experience from the club golfer over there, whereas my experience from the pro golfers, they're talking to the caddy, and the caddy's trying to give them all this advice, and it slows them down, and they do this while it's their shot. It's their shot to play. They don't do it while it's someone else's turn to play. And if you really have to, talk that much about building up confidence for hitting the shot, then maybe golf's not for you.
You can do this.
Yeah.
You can do this.
It's like, they're probably just trying to go, don't hit it left, don't hit it left, don't hit it left,
Right. Well, but then you need someone else. You need Dr. Shannon Reese, who I was on live with the other day, who's a sports psychologist. And she'll tell you and teach you how to not think that. Dr. Shannon Reese, REECE. How to not think about don't do this, but how to visualize the right shot and the good shot. And then last question, tips to study the rules, to take the exam.
Yeah, what are your tips, Marcella, to study the rules and take the exam?
My tips aren't very good.
That's because you haven't done one.
Because I haven't done one and I didn't do it.
Wuss. Marcella's a pussy when it comes to sitting in an exam.
My brain, I get, as you know, I know more than the average Joe about the rules of golf, and I can teach the rules of golf in person, in my rules experiences, on videos. The basics. I'm not a rules official. But sitting in a classroom for 8 hours a day for 3 days in a row, just shoot me. I can't.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So my tips are before I did the exam last year, I went through with all the titles and their numbering. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and tried to memorize all of them. And everyone goes, oh, you don't need to try and remember the numbers, but I found that very helpful for like a personal index. So if someone says to me, oh, I caused my ball to move, I'm going to go cause ball to move 9.4, or it's rule 9, and then if you did it, it's 9.4. Okay, so that's number one. Try and work out the numbers in their titles. It's a lot easier for your own personal index so that you can be quicker when you're actually doing the exam. Number two, just do a ton of questions. Find as many questions on the internet as you possibly can. I've got a website, golfisanattitude.com. Golfisanattitude.com. There's a lot of quizzes there. Go on there, do all the questions. The more questions you can do, the more you can sort of get wrong and then understand why you got it wrong. That's going to really help you. And then number 3 is just, golf rules questions or Girlfriend's Guide to Golf. We have videos constantly on the rules of golf, and there you see this visual of what is actually happening. Like that, I'm just about to post it. I've posted it before, but Marcella, when we did the relief denied because you're going to try and play an unreasonable stroke, a lot of, that's a really, it's not one that you see often, but when you finally get to see it, you're like, oh, really? Is that, wow. I just thought that, your husband's like, I just thought you get relief every time you have interference.
Right.
So.
Well, he's not a rule follower.
No, he follows his own rules. That's right.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's good advice. And before your rules exams, get a lot of sleep and eat really well. Don't do any partying. Don't do any drinking. Get up early. Take a lot of caffeine.
And make sure you read the question. Read the question.
It's
the double negative question. I know it shits people, but the double negative question.
The double negative is horrible, and you can't even tell what it is. And then really, it's a multiple choice, but it's the worst multiple choice you've ever seen in your life because it's not. There's 4 choices, but each one is its own question. You better say, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? So each one question is actually 4 more. So it's 4 times the amount of questions, in my opinion. That's why I'm out.
There's another one, and this question always comes up. It's like Marcella hits it down the fairway, then she hits it onto the green, and it spins back into the penalty area. As she was walking up, she saw a bird take her ball out of the penalty area and drop it on the green. She then took another ball out of her bag and proceeded under the penalty area rules and placed it in the relief area. And made a stroke. How many penalty shots? And most people would say, oh, that's 2 penalty shots for placing rather than dropping. You played from a wrong place. But just remember that other penalty shot for taking relief from a penalty area. So there would have been 3 penalties.
Yeah, but in this scenario, the question probably is, what color is her shirt? Because all that other crap is irrelevant. I'm telling you, the test is designed for failure. Thanks for being here, Blakey. I appreciate it.
No worries. It's been great again, and I think this was number 3, and we'll just keep going. I mean, I tell you, I'll give you 5 minutes, and you take up 45 minutes of my time. It always happens.
Oh, it's not me. It's your followers, and you love them.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you, Blakey boy.
No worries. Stay safe. Get out in the golf course.
You too. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Don't hang up yet, Blakey.
Oh, that's right. Otherwise, I'll bust
Hang
it.
on.
Get out in the golf course.
You too. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Don't hang up yet, Blakey.
Oh, that's right.
All right. See you guys. We're all done here. Hopefully you heard us on Instagram, and that worked really well.